I'm Joanne Park Davison from Chambersburg, PA.
And Jim
Excellent.
Davidson with her.
From Chambersburg. And I was the only one that didn't say I was from somewhere.
Well, you're here with me in
There
Annapolis,
you
buddy.
go.
So, for now, that's good enough.
Absolutely. Or I'm from the armpit of Anne Arundel County.
We know
Pasadena.
Pasadena.
All right.
Yes.
Cool. We love armpits. They stink really badly. But anyway, so we're glad that you guys joined us today. And we'll be discussing flawed character versus true character and wrestling with that reality. But before we get into the discussion, we're going to, as a team, a podcast team here, we're going to challenge ourselves to name as many character flaws in 30 seconds as possible. Ready? Go.
Snobbery,
willful
Envy.
ignorance.
deceit,
Gluttony,
manipulation,
wrath,
Well, we're glad that our that our psychologists can do exactly what they're doing.
Absolutely.
You're really good at this. I mean, I have to think, who
You're
do
just filling
who do
time.
I know that is so deceitful or so challenged psychologically
Yes.
that they have to lie?
Stalling.
I'm there. Yeah, is that a bad one?
What'd you say? Gossip. Yes.
Gossip. Ooh.
Good.
Oh,
Or
yes.
so-
blaming.
you said
Blaming.
envy, Harvey?
Yep.
Envy,
Yep.
pride.
Greed.
Yep. Greed,
Murder.
lost, all those things.
Yeah, murder is a bad trait.
Resentment.
I'm not sure it's a character flaw. Though.
Well, it is a character flaw if you're going to pick up the knife and cut somebody's throat.
no, that's the thing. The picking up the knife is because of your character, not the
Right.
knife itself.
Well, I
And
understand.
then there's psychological murder, and that happens in families.
No. We all suck at that. All right. So that was a good, I don't know. Was that 30 seconds? Yeah, I think that was 45. Excellent. All right, cool. That was very good. Very good discussion and good stalling tactics.
Thank you.
Excellent
Appreciate it.
stalling tactics. So the next, that still means we got an F though. Just saying. So the next one, no, everybody doesn't get a trophy here. So the next one is going to be 30 seconds of speaking about
That mean
calling out true character versus true character or good character. Ready? That's going to be Dasan calling me for the 300th time.
okay. Well, if it's
Just leave it.
yeah,
Just leave it.
okay.
All right. So anyway, we're going to go to good character. You ready? 30 seconds.
Well, tenderness is a very
On your mark?
good character.
No.
It
You haven't
is.
started yet.
And that's called cheating. Just saying that goes back to the flawed character.
Yeah.
All right,
First he
ready?
stalls, then he cheats. I mean, hey.
Go.
Loving
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Oh, she's breaking out the
Oh,
Bible.
I see.
Breaking out the
Yeah.
Bible.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, well, she just took all of mine.
Good.
Truthfulness.
Good.
Yes.
And I think she
Yes.
was proving that it's important to be right.
Oh, well, she is.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm-
I'm just joking.
I'm just
Joanne.
organized, I hope.
Ah.
No, you are. I'm
That's her
stalling right
standard.
now. So what's some other ones?
Well, I think forthrightness is a very good
Yes.
trait. And I think that honesty, integrity, compassion for your fellow
No.
human
We
being.
should not have compassion.
I
on
love
anyone.
compassion. It's just the most,
45 seconds. Excellent
it's the
job.
most excellent job. Yes.
I think we did great
my.
with our challenge today, especially since we're
Didn't know it was coming.
close
So,
to 6.
so we didn't have like what you might call cheat sheets where, we had
Right.
them all listed out.
Right.
And then we could act like we're professional podcastors.
Correct, because we are not.
No.
And we don't ever want to be.
That's right, because I want to tell you from my heart exactly what you want.
Where to go? Oh, no.
no. Hey, well, it's
sorry.
close.
All right. So flawed versus true characters where we're going to go. But before we hit that, we're going to take a few minutes and talk to Joanne. Say hi, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne. Good.
I'm Joanne.
And she's going to kind of give us a little brief intro into who she is. So growing up years, young lady, what's up?
Growing up years, the main thing that I was interested in is music and church because they went together. I played piano And I was always a pianist, or I was the organist, or I was the, you know what, that was my pretty much the big thing in my life then. Then after college, in college, I learned about family studies, which is an interest of mine. And that went on to agency counseling. So a master's in counseling.
All right.
And then,
I'm going to interject
go
a
ahead.
question. So family counseling, interest of yours, why?
Because it's just to help families. I mean,
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good thing. It wouldn't be good if that was an interest of yours and you didn't want to help families. That's all I'm saying.
the best way to help is to learn about them. So
Good. So I interrupted your progression.
Career.
is, like I said, I got a master's, and then for the first few years, I was doing counseling or student services type jobs
Okay.
in like a school of nursing and WVU. And then when I got to we moved a lot. When we
Right.
got to the third spot, I couldn't find anything in a university. And Jim's like, well, I guess you'll have to work for the prison now. And I said, no, I don't. But then I did. And I retired after 20 years of working in the federal prison system. And I really
Wow.
liked it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So I retired in 2019.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, it's good to have people working in jobs, particularly in the corrections or any field for that matter, that actually care about what they do and care about the folks they're serving in that capacity. So kudos to you, young lady. Thank you for serving in that capacity. And you too, Jim. And you too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I had to throw you in there, throw you a little bone. You know what I'm saying, brother?
I don't know. I wouldn't have been so nice.
And there's another character.
Oh,
Okay,
there
anyway.
we go. Okay,
We're still rolling with the 30 seconds.
good.
But
addresses this in Romans 8. If you read the verse in context, here's what
amen. Some lady running her mouth. Let me turn it off. No, not you, Joanne. All right, good. That was a lady on my computer. I didn't even know who she was, but I hit the wrong button apparently. So the last question on getting to know you. When you chose to be a part of the podcast, what were the drivers for you?
Well, I was sick for a little while, and all that time I spent reading current events and following what was going on.
Yeah.
And that's where that interest came from. And this has something to do with character and current events, so I like the mix of that.
Yeah. Because today we're going to kind of delve into some of that a little bit, right? How did the flaws and how does true character show up in everyday life? Also, kind of trying to take apart a little bit, maybe, or get into the details about flawed versus true character. So, yeah, thank you, Joanne. Thank you so much. So, when we think about flawed versus true character, what are some of the first things that come to mind?
Triangulation.
Triangulation.
And that's actually a very good one, Jim, because in triangulation, at least from what I see, is politicians, bosses, just people that you meet, they're always trying to get themselves in the right position. And if they have to put others in an odd position so that they can look appropriate, not appropriate, but look blameless.
Yeah.
Blameless.
Optics. Appearances.
Yeah, optics and appearances. Yes. Yeah. So it gets to a point where the people see right through it.
Yeah.
And we're sick of it. And that's what
We are sick of it.
Yeah.
We see people throwing each other under the bus all the time.
All the time.
And lying, there's so much lying now. It's amazing to me.
Yes.
They don't even care if you know that they're lying.
Well, and that's what we're seeing, at least in the political realm. They really
That's what I
don't
meant.
care.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
Well,
meant.
but I mean, we have that sometimes even, in our neighborhoods, in our schools, in our, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I even think that the kids understand when the teachers are going off the deep end.
I do too.
I hope so.
Well,
I do too.
And of course, we see it in our families too, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we can see it even at that in the microcosm level at that point. Seeing it at work, like when you were talking about triangulation, Jim. You want to give an example of that?
Well,
Do you have a
sure.
thought in mind there?
Oh yeah, one or two.
Yeah, just one or two.
There's a lot of people are afraid to not have personal power, to have what we say in counseling agency. In other words, we don't feel confident in ourselves to be ourselves around people, to be earnest and
Gotcha.
caring and supportive.
So you would
So
say more
some
like inferior in feeling sense?
well, that's a kind way of putting it. It could also be psychopathic.
Yeah.
Um, so, and they go together too.
Yeah.
But the idea of being in a group of people and you're going to propel yourself upward on the necks and backs and spines of other people with
Yeah.
lying, with manipulating, with
Yes.
setting falsehoods, with putting out things that aren't true, with setting people up to fail. And
Yeah.
then I told you so. And we see
Yes.
this in small ways and great ways when people who do it
Yeah.
aren't really up to par,
Right.
aren't really in a consensual relationship with people. They have to be dominant.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. There's a reason or a benefit they gain by acting out in that fashion, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I
and
mean,
we
I
see
have
it
a great.
everywhere.
Yeah, I have a great illustration from when I was a young police officer in Baltimore City. Very, let's just say, out of place for where I was working, and because I'd never literally been in a culture of an urban environment like that before. It was a very scary time in my life, if you will. And I was learning how to be a police. I wanted to do it right. I wanted to do it well. I wanted to serve people. And then I was still a young man and I was trying to quote unquote prove myself.
Yes,
And so, in pursuit of proving myself, of course, I was ignorant a lot of times of the ways I was acting out, and sometimes I wasn't. But in one instance, I had chased down this bad guy with a gun, caught him in the middle of Irvington, off of
Frederick Road.
there, and I was very proud of myself. It was one of my first foot chases, and I called the paddy wagon. I had my radio in my hand. I had it up to my mouth, and I had one foot on the guy that I had just chased down, like he was my trophy, like my catch, if you will. And he was in handcuffs, and I was calling for the paddy wagon. I was also proud that I didn't need anybody else's help. I got it done all by myself. Man, messed up guy, Rob Benson, back then. And that kind of pictures what you were just describing in a pretty disgusting way there, Jim.
Well, the triangulation of that was what?
Me using this guy's plight
Right.
to project to everybody else that was around me that I am the man. I am the
Okay.
legend. Don't run from me.
okay.
Because I got it all together, dog.
Okay. I'm just looking
The
at
good,
you.
bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was certainly that. Yeah. So that's that's a
But
real life
but
example.
there is something about being proud of your accomplishments. I mean, if you're not proud of your accomplishments, I mean, are you human?
Do I need to step on somebody's back and treat them like they were prey to be proud?
No, I'm saying that
Oh.
you may have needed to step on his back to keep him on the ground while
No,
you were
that wasn't.
distracted.
I was stepping on his back. Man.
Well, there you go.
Thanks for the reason,
Yeah,
though.
well, I was trying to give you an out, bud. Here's a
I
window.
appreciate
Use it.
I appreciate it. That would be deceptive, character flaw. Anyway,
Okay.
all right. Back then, I didn't fully understand what I was doing. That doesn't excuse the wrong, though. Bottom line is, so when you think about flawed character and true character and how it relates to morality, what do you guys? Well,
I
think
had an
about that?
example of this past week. I have been struggling with in my day-to-day job getting our tax exempt status confirmed by Walmart. So I kept going over to Walmart, showing them the letters saying I'm tax exempt. Here's the stuff from your business office. It says I'm tax exempt. And they were saying, well, we don't have the number. And if you don't have the Walmart number,
Right.
you're not tax exempt.
Yeah.
So anyway, I tried to follow all the instructions that they had, and I Went into the store. I picked up the things I want to go to the cash register. I'm checking out, and I waved the guy
Yeah.
who's overseeing the self checkout, and I said, "I don't pay any tax. How do I make sure I'm not going to get taxed here?"
Right.
And he says, "Transaction complete, and I've been charged tax." I said, "Sir, I am not allowed to pay tax, so you're going to have to refund this to me because I don't pay tax, and
Right.
I can't take it back and put it through the system."
Right.
And he says, "Well, you're going to have to go over to customer service, and they'll have to refund it for you." So I had picked up something also for myself, but I go over to customer service, and we return everything, and I tell the people at customer service, I'm a little pissy about having to do all this extra work because I came to see you all first.
Yeah.
We all thought we had it square. I went, I did my purchase. I even told the guy before I even settled up, no tax, and he settles me up with tax. So they took everything back and said goodbye. I walk out the door. I get all the way out to my car, and there are the batteries in my hand that I needed for my house.
Oh,
Now, I had
Moral
a decision to
dilemma.
make. Yeah, of course. I said, your character is not worth 2 batteries.
But
So I
3.
turned
Yeah,
myself around
Yeah.
and marched right back in the store. And I went right to the security guard and I said, I walked out with these.
Yeah.
I'm here to purchase them.
Yes.
And he just looked at me and he said, just go over there. So I
Right.
was like, well,
that
sorry
was-
I bothered you, sir, for trying to be an honest patron. And
Did you give him a lecture?
no, I did it all in my head. It was all in my head. And I had a good time, because they were talking to each other inside my head.
The devil on one side.
Yeah. And the good guy on the other.
There you go.
Yeah,
There we go.
But I mean, you're presented with a conundrum. And the
I like
point
to call
is,
it moral dilemma.
okay, you're presented with a conundrum.
I like to call it. No, go ahead.
And you have a decision point. Either decision, I could have kept going. I could have just put them in my car and said, they deserve that because I went through everything I went through. But that's not true. That's theft.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I decided that my character was worth more than a set of batteries.
Excellent. I'm glad you made the right choice, David. I'm glad you made the right choice.
well, David, I can tell you, I wasn't like that all my career. I can tell you. Before I got involved in law enforcement, I didn't mind doing a little ripping and running.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, there
And,
you go. And how
one-
did that make you feel?
Pretty dumb. And because my brother was taking me out to a fancy restaurant one time when I was in college and paying by American Express, but he swiped a whole bunch of fancy cigars from the front desk while they were finding us a place to eat.
Ah.
And tried to pass them around under the table. I said, don't give them to me and all this, We get to the cash.
Misdirection. What a great play.
We get to the cash register and they said, and how many cigars was that, sir? Well, that turned me right around.
Good.
I did not want to do that game anymore.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, and so when we're talking about flawed, we're talking about something that's marked. In other words, it's got some filth on it, something that is marred, imperfect, right?
That's us.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Good,
okay.
good. I'm glad you could see that in the mirror, Dave.
It was hard.
I don't know why you always have to include me in that pic, but just joking. All right.
No, I didn't include you. You jumped in.
I jumped in?
Yeah.
You said that's us. Anyway.
Yeah, us meaning the corporate body of
Oh,
the world.
Okay. That was a great dance, brother.
I have it.
Yes.
Still got those moves.
And true, we're talking about straight, something that is fact, something that is without variation, right? Something that is not crooked or bent.
And
Yeah, or bent, right?
got it.
Yeah. So when you think about morality in the context of our culture and how we operate and what we see on the news and what we hear about our leaders, when we look at our own families, when we look in the mirror at ourselves,
Hold on, you're getting a little too personal here.
always got to go there, brother. But when we think about morality in that context, is morality morality something that is considered important in our culture, in our society, in America?
You want a simple answer? Or you want a
I just want an
long?
answer.
The answer is it is not important overall in our society.
Yeah.
Because we see example after example after example every day in the news, whether it's shootings, robberies, muggings, murders.
Yeah. All
And
the
that
mischief
is
that
what is
happens.
being demonstrated for people night after night after night on their TV.
Right. It's also being demonstrated in the streets. Isn't
Well,
it?
and that's why it's getting reported on the news.
Yes.
And so it ends up everybody for themselves.
Yeah.
And
Fraud.
because
Yep.
everybody for themselves, when you find that person who isn't in there for themselves, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Right. Yeah, that reminds me of an image that I saw years ago. It is a sidewalk that is been there for a long time, well used. The concrete is out of alignment, the curb's out of alignment, and there's grass and stuff growing up in it. And then there's this little blossom and beautiful flower popping up in the middle. It's kind of what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
So what about what do you guys think there, Jim and Joanne? Morality, something important in today's world?
Go ahead.
No, go
Oh, I should go. Okay. Well, you really can't have a relationship without some truth. You could say decency and kindness and all those trigger words that we are supposed to show, but in fact, if you're not honest with people, you don't
Yeah.
have a relationship. You have a performance,
Okay.
and I can
Yes.
say that performing is everywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I was trained to be a performer. Um, and part of that has been very helpful in speaking to people and such.
Sure. Sure.
But it's also a tool for getting over on
Yeah.
folks. So the idea of taking that step, like Dave did,
Yeah.
to say, okay, this is the honest way to deal with it, and I am not contributing to the moral fabric or the fabric of society if I
Right.
take this. If because I'm demonstrating it to other people that I'm stealing it,
Right. Right.
and in addition, I'm not in need, so I can handle this. I can do this.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm grabbing food for my kid. Um, so I would say honesty is huge, and it's hard to come by, especially when you're on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
But and to take yourself and put your own pride and power needs aside, even in the moment, to be honest
Mm-hmm.
and truthful about something is often very risky, but it is the fabric of our relationships.
Yeah. It can knock you down some pegs. It can knock you down some pegs. It's a very
Absolutely.
humbling experience to do that. To be
Yes, it
honest
is.
with somebody and speak the truth, not for benefit or gain, or to elevate, but it is risky behavior. But it's a good risk.
But we used to call it a civil society.
Yeah,
These were manners in a civil society. Mm-hmm. And people,
not just
50
putting
years
on a
ago.
show.
no, it isn't a show. Nope, nope. But
No mo
peop-
show.
people would say, that's uncivil behavior,
Right.
and that was shame on you. We don't have that sense anymore.
Right.
So, do we need that in our society? Absolutely, we need it.
Right.
But
I think we do.
It isn't valued in our society until it's too late. Kind of one of the things in today's news, there was a piece about the New York governor who was saying,
Kathy Hochul?
Yeah, Kathy. Little
Go ahead.
Kathy. Yes, little Kathy. She said that it's sad that the tax base has been eroded in New York, and that she's asking the billionaires to come back to New York so that they can help save the tax base and help provide the social services necessary for the poor.
Oh,
So that's what she said today.
Wow.
So,
That would be like shame.
well, in a sense,
Using
I
it
guess
as a
she
tool.
was, she was trying to shame them to come back because she was saying billionaires have lots of money and they should want to come back to help the poor.
Right.
And yet they drove them out of the state by having policies that were
Ripped
very
them off?
Yeah, we're ripping them off. Yeah, as
Let's just say it blunt.
Nick Shirley is finding in California, as
Yeah.
he found
Oh,
in
yes.
Minnesota.
Yes.
And
Yes,
what a
right.
wonderful young man that is.
Oh my
It
God,
is.
You
very
want to talk
brave.
about a truth seeker?
Yep.
And and the beautiful part of it is he only wants to get down to the bottom of things, and he wants to expose actual fraud
Right.
and criminal behavior and activity, whether it's people taking advantage of taxpayer dollars or it's government officials participating in extorting the taxpayer base.
Yes. But what was interesting is that the governor of California started wearing a shirt around to make it look like Nick Shirley was a pedophile. Because there he is with a camera on top of his head in
I
this.
saw the shot.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's ridiculous, right?
Yeah. So
a governor of a state, right? An elected official, supposed to be a man, if
Right.
you will, right? And also supposed to be a person of real character.
right, the
Uh,
governor should be.
Right. And how does he treat a young man who's seeking truth?
He calls him a pedophile. And
That sounds like projection to me.
Expound.
there you go.
Expound.
It may be what the governor's guilty of himself.
Ah,
Child sex
Interesting.
slavery. You know, you flip it on the next guy
Yeah.
and you get the heat off of you for a minute, then you can disappear.
right. I think you probably, both of you guys working in prison, not that it only happens there. I've seen it in my circles a lot too. I've seen it in church circles. But anyway, we'll get there. When you think about working in prison, did you see that dynamic at work sometime?
Go ahead.
Jim,
What?
Joanne?
I'm getting elbows here. You mean flipping it on other people?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
it's a
absolutely.
common move that we use.
Absolutely.
It's always
I've-
everybody else's fault. Nothing is our fault. Come on.
I've seen it at all levels. I've seen it done practically innocently out of fear.
Yes.
And
I've participated in that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen it that way, and I've seen it done to manipulate and get over on people and keep your power base.
Yes. Yes.
Both ways. And I'm not just talking about inmates, believe me.
Oh,
I'm not
absolutely,
talking.
brother.
Yeah, it could be the warden.
Well, yes.
I didn't have a specific one in mind, Jim. Okay, just so you know.
I
Jim
do.
does.
Just
No,
about
anyway.
all levels of the organization.
Absolutely.
And the people that step in it and get caught are is interestingly enough, at least in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the people who are higher ups, what we call SES wardens, they're getting at the top of their career,
Okay.
who get step in it. They get sent to First Street in Washington, D.C., in the basement where they're with the research crew, and they're buried for the rest of their career. But they get their money still.
Yep.
Yeah, which is a major tragedy. It's a major tragedy. I mean, to me, that just continues to fuel, basically flawed character traits and basically promote people or hide them away so they can collect what they need to collect
Right.
from the system, even though they've wronged people and hurt people.
Which only
And in our
perpetuate.
business, in our business, we often see or have seen people who claim to be in recovery
Yeah.
from alcoholism
Yes.
or
Yes.
drug addiction or criminal lifestyle or whatever you want to say, beating
Right.
your wife. I don't know what it would be. Doing the mea culpas. Oh, it was the alcohol that made me do it. It's just a
Yes.
stone cold lie.
Yes.
And they want
Call
a
it what
pass.
it is. Right.
They want sympathy.
Right.
They want support instead of confrontation for the character flaw. And the character flaw, guess what? Doesn't go away.
Okay, so how do we get past the character flaw?
Truth. And you have to have people holding you to the fire.
Okay, but you see, if it becomes a character trait that you're going to do this manipulation, and we're hopefully able to sit here and discuss how we recognize it and get beyond it, how do we do that? We need people in our lives who are going to say directly to you, that was manipulation.
Right.
That diminishes who you are in their eyes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you need to amend your ways.
Right. And
But
the other
Very good.
aspect is you actually are harming people.
Yes. Well,
Right.
yeah. Yeah, we have to be able to speak clearly without being defensive. And a good friend can do that. But so many people think they have a good friend, and when they talk to them a little rough, all of a sudden they're
Right.
befriended.
Right.
Or not befriended, but defriended.
Back to what
if
is
you're
a
in a
friend? Go ahead.
if you're in a relationship that's not equal, like a parent or child or
Yeah.
boss or
Oh, yeah.
subordinate,
Oh,
like that, there are very often consequences for standing up for the truth. And
Yes.
you may not have the whole truth as a child or a teenager or whatever,
True.
but very often as a subordinate you do. And I can't tell you the number of times I've said to a warden, I'm here to keep you out of the funny papers. If I don't tell you what I see, I'm hurting you. You might be mad right now, but I'm hurting you if I don't.
right.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Yeah. But that's how we want to build people up so that they can see things more clearly and then react from understanding how character matters and how they can be true to themselves. And if you're true to yourself, you're going to be true to everybody else, but you have to be true to yourself. Because when you start lying, cheating, and stealing from other
Wait
people,
a minute. My truth. It's my truth.
I don't care what your truth is. If it's not,
Well, that's how I'm true to myself, brother. My truth.
no, I think
That's not what you're talking about.
no.
Oh, okay.
No. I think
Well,
you're just yanking my chain.
can I jump in while you're
Yeah,
yanking
man.
the shit up?
Yeah, the leash is really long, so there's plenty of time. Go for it.
No, no, I was going to say, in addition to that, the manipulation is very real.
Yeah.
We sometimes need to come from a place of deeper understanding, and it's hard to do with people who've lived a life of abuse and either getting abuse or being abused or abusing other people.
Right.
And we've seen this a great deal in our work.
Sure. I've
So
seen it in
when
families. I've seen it in my family.
yes,
When you don't
and,
know something different because you grew up a certain way,
right,
then that's all you know. And it,
and
is
it
quote
cuts.
unquote right to you, but is it right?
Yes, and I guess we have one of several choices to make. We could get them back. We could talk about them dirty.
Yeah.
We could debase them, or we can step up and say, "You really hurt me, and I just want you to know that I don't know what's going on,
Hmm.
but it really hurts people or hurts me." And sometimes people will take a look and say, "But this is all I know." Sometimes
Hmm.
they will.
Yeah. Well, I think there's the hope, right? And
That's
I
the hope.
think coming from a perspective where you're not just trying to punch them in the mouth with what you're saying, right? You're just trying to help them see maybe something they haven't seen or don't know, and you're
Right.
sharing it from a heart of care, if you will. That's the way to approach it. But again, that's also you put you in a difficult position, right? It can be risky to do that.
That's one of the things that I liked about working as a drug counselor in the prison is because I could point out those character flaws or, whether you weren't being truthful or whatever. And, if you couldn't use that's where I'm from or that's all I know as an excuse, because you could always like, okay, well, tell me somebody, is there one person in your whole neighborhood who doesn't sell drugs? Well, yeah, like your grandmother, maybe. Oh, yeah, just she's great. Okay,
Right.
well, then if she can do it, you could do it. And you know
Yes.
that there is a choice. If she
Yeah.
wasn't there, you might
Good
not, but
point.
you can't say it's just you.
Good
I
point.
mean, it's just my neighborhood or whatever. There's
Right.
always a choice. So
Right.
it was nice to be able to, be truthful about that and clear about that.
Well, and just helping people see the bigger picture, and see what the true or the good looks like, right? Because that's kind of what you were doing
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
that, and then saying, "Hey, there's hope," because that can also be you. I think that's awesome, Joanne. being able to help people see some things, even in their own environment like that, right?
But do you
Yes.
feel like they were able to respond to what you were doing with them and amend
I
their ways?
Well, I believe so. Um, I was working in a program that had workbooks and that kind of thing, and that was sometimes their homework, and that they would start to catch each other.
Very
Oh,
good.
you know
Great.
what? You're doing this, you're doing, and
Right.
it really was not as hard as I thought it would be.
Hmm.
I mean, they were maybe because they were in the drug program, they wanted to try harder, but
Right.
I would have expected much more argument about it, and they're not. They wouldn't do that. They'd be like, "Yeah, okay, there is somebody that doesn't sell drugs.
Right.
He might play basketball, but he doesn't play drugs
And
or
what's
doesn't use
beautiful
drugs."
about what you're describing, in that moment, they have a flash of truth or honesty. They see
Yes.
something as it really is, and they're willing to admit that, right? And isn't that the biggest step forward, when you can be honest with yourself in a circumstance?
But then shouldn't you try to find other people that will mirror that too in your life so that it's easier for you to get over your flaw?
I mean, yeah,
Like practice.
that's certainly a tool. I think in your group settings, that's what you're talking about. Church families can be that.
Yes. Yeah.
Friendship groups can be that. You guys have led a lot of groups, and that's probably one of the aspects of a group, isn't it?
Well, yes, and one of the things that I was told by some fellas in my group, and I won't name what segment of society they're from, but it seems to fit. They said, "Doc, that's all real well and good, but we live like crabs in a barrel."
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that means when someone is trying to crawl out of this situation, we drag them back in.
Oh, I thought
You
you were
don't need,
talking about a segment on the news and politicians for a second there. I'm sorry.
oh yeah, politicians will do the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to let you out of this circle. We're going to
Yes.
keep you pulled down, and you're going to do what we do no matter
Yes.
what. And yes,
Yes.
politicians are deep into that.
Yes. And, back to that power base and having, having dominion or rule over somebody else. The scripture kind of gets to a point here that I love, because I love how straight God's word is here. In Psalm 51, David is the writer of the psalm, and he was being called out. This psalm came out of a circumstance in his life where he committed adultery. He had the woman's husband killed, who he'd committed adultery with, so he wouldn't come back from battle. That husband was a soldier in David's army, so David, as the king, should have been looking out for that man, should have been looking out for his family, should not have exploited his soldier being out at war to sleep with his wife. But of course, David did what David wanted to do, and he basically wasn't dealing with it or confronting himself or looking at himself in the mirror. So the prophet, a spokesperson from God, shows up and calls him out, says, "Hey, buddy, you're off. You're wrong.
Yep.
Do you see what you're doing here?" And so out of that space, David kind of gets a flash of himself in the mirror. And this psalm that he writes in Psalm 51, we just hit a couple verses. Surely I was sinful. I was sinful at birth. I think it's critical, right? I think that's really critical to truth and seeing ourselves in the right light. I was sinful at birth, sinful from the time my mother conceived me. Now think about that. Before you shot out of the womb, before you were conceived,
Yep.
you are already sinful, right? Yeah. I think that's a really critical aspect to be able to acknowledge, because then we all start from the same point. And I think our culture and philosophy and psychology, they often say that there is inherent goodness in us. And I think there's the fatal flaw.
Yep. Well, hold on. Say that to me one more time, because I think I disagree.
That's fine. You can disagree.
Well, but I want you to say it again. I want to make sure I understand your
What
point.
does it say right here?
No, your point.
No, this is my point.
Well, I understand this is your point, but I don't have my glasses
No.
on. And how am I supposed to?
Philosophy, psychology, humanism
Right.
often says that we have inherent goodness in us.
Okay.
And I'm
So
saying God's
I-
word says the exact opposite.
That is
That
what
we
that
have
word would
inherent
say.
sin.
Yes. Yeah. But
So when you start to
But
dance,
no, I'm not trying to dance. I'm trying to evaluate my own life and try to decide why I believe people are generally good, just as neighboring beings.
sure.
And I treat them that way until I find out differently.
And then you don't treat them good because they're not good?
No, then I treat them politely, but I don't treat them like they're my best friend.
So you put on appearances like they're good?
I don't know that it's an appearance because I think they know pretty clearly that I caught them being a jerk to me, and I don't do business that way.
Okay.
I actually
It's
had
hard to
one
do.
person. Well, and I had somebody call me, and I literally said, "Sorry, don't do business that way.
Right.
Yep,
Right.
can't do it."
So what happened to that person's inherent goodness?
It may be buried under
It doesn't
all
mean
the
it's
crap
not
that they
buried
put
in
on
there
top.
somewhere.
Yeah, I mean,
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But where I go with this is you give somebody wiggle room and they'll take
they'll
advantage
wiggle it.
of
Sure, they wiggle more
Right.
than the
and
little.
to me, inherent goodness is wiggle room because where here it says we're inherently sinful. So that I'm not. We don't have to dispute it today or figure it out. You know, you have to come to your place and your decision point. For me to move forward and grow, I had to come to the realization that one, I'm pretty sharp guy and I can wiggle pretty well.
Yeah.
And
the same
when I
place.
start from the point of I'm inherently sinful, I ain't got no wiggle room there. That means even when I can put on a show and not even know it and appear to be good.
Yeah.
So what do you do with that? You know?
Well, you're
Just a
not being
question.
your true self at that point.
What's my true self?
Well, evidently, your true self is pretty darn bad, buddy.
Well, I am. That is correct.
And I mean,
Every time I've hurt somebody,
did you see how I moved my chair a little?
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, every time I've hurt somebody, that is my inherent evil coming out of me right there. Intentional.
Well, but I understand, and that is what is underlying.
That is who I am right here. Surely I was sinful at
But-
birth.
Yeah, surely
From
you were.
the time I was in my mother's
Shirley, who's
womb
Shirley?
and conceived.
Yes, I don't know, Shirley.
Surely, speaking of God, you desire truth in
Yes.
the inner parts.
Yes.
You teach
Yes.
me wisdom
Yes.
in the inmost parts.
Well,
So that we
I'm
can walk in
asking,
that.
Yeah.
I
go,
want to ask
go.
you a question. What happened
Go
to
ahead.
that divine spark that we were told that was in everyone, including gang members? MS-13, they have a divine
Image
spark.
image bearers, you mean, of God? Is that what you're talking about, Joanne?
No, I'm talking about actually, I'm being kind of sarcastic. There was
Oh, okay.
a
I'm
a
sorry, I
person
didn't
who
pick it
was
up.
in
I
politics.
missed it.
There was a famous politician who said
okay.
that about MS-13 people, that they had a divine spark. Nancy
Gotcha.
Pelosi.
I missed all that. You know,
Yeah, I did
Oh,
too.
really?
I usually am.
This is a
pretty-
while back.
Well, you know, I used to be really up on
Is
the
that
news,
why
but not
Nancy
anymore.
Pelosi has now opened up her mansion and her wealth to bring inmates into her life and her world?
Oh yeah, I mean, she's got the whole gates opened up, and she's cleaned up the excrement on the streets, and she's doing it
She
all.
wanted Abbott to send the bus loads up to her place.
Yeah,
right?
she actually gave him
Is
her
that what it
address.
was?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, that was
Because
a
they
great
have a divine spark.
yeah.
There you go.
And
There
we
you
were
go.
trying to burn their place. No, we were not. I'm sorry.
firebug, are
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
All right,
Oh,
cool,
wow.
cool. No, that was a great discussion today. Great discussion today. And so we look forward to seeing everybody next week at 6:45
Yeah.
on Thursday. Any kind of last statements or
Well,
things that
I mean, one
anybody
of the
has?
things that I
Go ahead.
want to say as we close each week is that if you have a question, please write it down, like us in your little on your screen, but why am I struggling? I don't
It's
know.
okay.
But the point is that we're screening
Yeah.
across the screen is going to be my email address.
Yeah.
Feel free to write me. I will respond. And, you know, if we can help you, we want to. And we don't want you to feel like you're lost and lonely out there all by yourself, because there are plenty of people in here that are willing to share God's love with you and the light of the world.
Amen. Anything from you guys, Jim, Joanne, concluding statements, comments, encouragements.
Never give up.
There you go.
Never give up.
There you go.
You can do it
You can do
if
it.
you want to.
That's
If
right.
you want to.
Like my son says, you can do it with God's help. That's what he
Right.
always says. to me.
There you go.
That's
There
right.
you go, Jesse.
All right. Lord, we just thank you for today. We thank you for the time with our friends. We thank you for our time with our friends here on the podcast. And we ask you to do an awesome work within us. Create in us a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within us.
Amen.
Amen. See y'all later.
See ya.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Is that clapping?
I love it.